Hello and welcome, as today's date comes in that of Friday, the 8th day of May 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades, and of the like, that is within each's own risk and their own reward. Bitcoin up to, it's gotten past 10,000 and at 9,900 and near 50. It is that of about 3:15 p.m. Eastern as I'm doing this video. So as I was stating before, this little run in here, it was just that little interesting setup how with low volatility it was supporting this general area. And then we followed that with an up move. And then we followed that with a little bit of that more type of stuff after that. And then yesterday's session, breaking out, getting past this level of resistance. And so far today, holding the gains very, very nicely. Amongst the single hour term time frame, when we look at this via the previous high from before, once the price got up to there, it really didn't resist it much at all. Yeah, a little pierce below here, but it came back to it at the 11 a.m. hour and just off to the races, I guess, for a leg higher. And so far, so well. It's been correcting efficiently through the 18 average. Two support tests that have been successful here early on, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then last at 9, 10 o'clock. So far, it's just been hanging in there, closer to the highs. Hasn't broken out, but again, I like how it's holding in there so far. Now, if I switch the exchange to Coinbase, I got this little line here, which it's actually supporting. And this is the Fibonacci that I've been looking at that represents the highs of 20,000 and these lows a little north of 3,000. 23.6%, this is 38.2, 61.8% Fibonacci level. And this is an exponential Fibonacci. You take high, so 20K divided by the low of a little over 3,000. That gets you a number near 6, a little higher. To the root of 0.618, multiply about 3,100 or so, and that's 98.14. But again, I like the holding upon it. We've had the situation of the 2020 event, as I'll call it, and has been rebounding this move ever since. We've managed now to get back really all of the losses from the 2020 point, as it's now in the area of its yearly highs, which is a little north of 10,000. And to me, on the break of this resistance, that looks like we're going to probably, as we continue on through the rest of the day into the weekend, reach even a little higher, like again, 10.3, 10.4 area. And in conclusion, for any type of corrections, we've already been testing this. If this doesn't work out, or if we break below the support, the next, where we came from anyway, we can see there was major resistance here, 9,081 area, and then up to this 93.50 and this point at 94.75. So 9,400, I think, down to 9,000 even would be the next area of support if it's of course going to be doing that on its next key move. Let's now switch over to alternate coins against Bitcoin. First, DGB. And very volatile and large moves this has had, as we've seen it go from a little over 50 Satoshi up to close to 300. I think it can go to 380. We'll still see if it will or not. And most likely even pierce extra above it. It's had now working on its second good correctionary move since the break of at least the 75, and even the third good correctionary move, because there's one right here, going from 96 down to 71, and then from 220 or so down to about 130. We've been as high as close to 292 so far. The intraday lows in at 185, and has come close to the 18 average of lows. And when we look at this on just other different time frames, just for something to do, when we look at the run in here throughout the, just in the 18 in here, just a decent decline that it had from the last one, the 210 to this one in here. But every time it got below it, it recovered it here. It gets below it down in here. And then when it recovers it, of course, a good leg higher. And then it recovers it here. It neutralized it for a bit, but we can see this leg higher was only able to get to the 18 average of highs. And then the fall would start down in here, where it spent more time below the lows, resisting the closes, coming up here, supporting the lows. So maybe it's going to break out, has its opportunity here, May 7th in the morning. Not quite so. Then again, a couple hours later, a few hours later, not quite so again. And the continuous pattern of lower highs and lower lows on this pattern has been in place. When we take a look at this on a more long term, it's like, yeah, look at all these types of moves, but it's now attempting to have a significant reversal of trend. We had a move in here. Oh my goodness, what a big move! Little move here, this one here, yeah, whatever here, and must hold area. Well, I'll be looking at Fibonacci, and let's calculate it for now. But we have a low of 54, 52. It looks like, and a high of 294. So 294 divided by 52, I think it was. And so I divide the two to the root of the key numbers, multiply 52. These are the answers. So on the way down, 195 and 152 are the two areas that I'd be looking at. 195 is pretty much where we're supporting now. As we can see here, 195. Yeah, but it's already hit this on the 1 hour. So there it is. There's the play. And the Pierce Extra like they normally do. And we'll see how much of a bounce it's had. Short term, it's already had a pretty good one. Whether it will have more or not, we'll see if this area doesn't hold. I'm looking for 152 to be the next level of support. Next, let's take a look at Theta. And as far as me buying low, selling high, with the exception of DGB, which I don't trade it much, Theta I do trade aggressively. I've been distributing a lot of it on the buy low, sell high, because this market has been having these gains lately. And within the Bitcoin gains, there's been a lot of altcoins losing decently against Bitcoin. So therefore, Theta's crosses its price against other coins, well, it's getting more expensive to buy Theta, thus I've been selling Theta for other coins. Anyway, we have this low in the 18 here in the mid part of April. Breaks out above like around 1,200 Satoshi on April the 20th. So it's went from 1,200 to like 1,800, 50%. Ooh, yay! And I sarcastically mean that in the sense, well, it's good, but it's not even anywhere near 100%. So it started off a decent sized rally, and it's done it with low volatility for what it's capable of doing. And I say low volatility, look at each day. 5% up, or 6 even. 2.8, 3. And then up almost 4 3/4. And then up 0.5%. That's a mad day. And then up 4 2/3%, 2 3/4 on this day. And on this run, we just came off of a 4.5% day. There was a 1%, 4.5. There was a 7 2/3. So there, and 3 2/3. And then again 5.5. So those are low percentage days. I mean, we had a day in here which was 26% before. What was this day? 15%. And then back in these days, back in here, 37% up. And 3 days in a row, there was 24, 12, and 16. There can be some monstrously large moves, and that's the statement that I think that it's trying to show. Now, overall, it's been in this long sideways consolidation. We can see there's been a tremendous amount of support down here, roughly at that 1,000 even handle level. A little pierce below, maybe 900 2/3 or 965. We had a lot of this resistance in here, but we can see how we held and supported this, so that's one of the good things. The resistance that we've had, well, it's been up north as high as even like saying here, if we go back to this, like around 1,900. The highest before this move was 1521. Right now we're holding and staying above that. It's matched this level, consolidating a little bit. So as far as getting out of this range, to me, it still has a little bit to go as from the start, this 1,800 and change. But if this thing is ready to go and it's giving me the signals that it's got a higher probability to be in such, that we could have a day where next thing you know, we're at 3,000 Satoshi from say 1,800 or something. And it's up like 60%. And even before like that, as that day that I don't mention too often, November 30th, 78% up. And that was after it gave back a large percentage of the gains. This was a day where the low was 1235 and the high was 3695. That's a 3x move in one day. Things like that are capable on any given points. And when you're in a situation like this, well, the bullish factor tells you that, Well, this could very easily work out very well. When we look at this on a single hour term time frame, what I like about this is well, from this high, you've seen the price come back down, support in here, this level of resistance. That's a good bonus. It hasn't given back much of the move, but it has had good correction from this low. It had a chance to break out here. We can see 2 mornings ago, but that failed. And then it never had an opportunity again until last night. And it had a great rally up to this point. Of course, I noticed it tried to get some of this high 17 action, couldn't get it. But you know what? But after it failed, this rally here, successfully finding support at the lows, resisting the high, supporting the lows. And now this move here that happened at 1300 hours or 1 p.m. Eastern today was a retest of the early morning lows. The previous hour, the 2 p.m. Eastern or 1400, just a hold in there. And even within it, you can see how it had a minor price correction just within the fact that it had this line going down in here. And now halfway through this current period, we're seeing good bullish indication that this thing is looking like it might be ready to break out and maybe come in and test some of the intra-high moves of, 1740-ish area. Of course, this area retested that. And if I see a market go up to this point, this gives me the one of two bullish possible situations that can very easily likely happen. Number one, maybe we resist this area again, but maybe this time we can at least support around 1670. And there might not be resistance here. And if it gets above it, as mentioned from the start, that 1800 area change, you'd be breaking this, moving up towards this, even up to 1900. Well, 1800 change would justify that. That would be the next level of target I'd expect it to. I'd expect it to happen fast and furious. Now let's transition and finish it off actually with Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin. And at 0.026395, as we take a look at this on the weekly term time frame, from its birthday, August the 1st, 2017, a fork of Bitcoin. And having its up and down moves, and it's been in a downward spiral since then, having from this high. But with the way cryptos have been, that's generally been the case for all of them. And what's key of note, now I'll talk about one more thing afterwards, is how the altcoins got going based on the Bitcoin price. But I need the Bitcoin chart to show that, so that's why I'm going to finish off the video that way. And in that, Bitcoin's not in the stage yet where these things are supposed to go up yet, at least if it's the way it was with history the last time in a one case only scenario basis. So it's breaking down below the weekly, having a retest of this level. So weekly, it doesn't look too good. The daily, it's actually having a good day. It's up that of about 4% against Bitcoin, well, 2.91%. Maybe against, anyway, 2.9, that's what it is. But it's still well below the 18 average of those. This has just been grinding, yada, yada, its way down from breaking down in here, and even from breaking down below there, and even breaking down from these February highs, where it's like 0.048. So it's lost like half its value. Of course, the volatility in this game can be very, very large. But the moves, and we're going to see it here, can be just that as well. 1 hour term time frame. So there we have it, down, 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 down. There's a neutralization, just hanging in there within the 18. And when you see this, it's okay, it's got to break one side or another. It's going to probably have a decent sized move when it breaks whichever one it is. And it's an upside, it's a decent sized move. And pretty decent at that as well, too. This hour up 3.1%. But 2 consecutive periods that it has completed just yada yada sidewaysing it. And then so far, 27 minutes left doing the same thing again as well. And when these things go, they can go relatively fast, 4-minute term time frame. Market started going just before noon, 10 minutes before, so 11:50, we'll say 11:52 it says. And then it tops this at 1300 hours. So a 1 hour session of just keeping its move up and having just a fantastic move to the upside. And since then, price actions, no one's selling right now. I mean, no one's buying yet either at the same time either. But the reason why I started off by saying no one's selling is, well, if you've been looking for a little bit of a higher price to buy and you say, oh, here we are, it's higher against Bitcoin, higher against the dollar, all that type of stuff, then that can work out well. So let's go back and talk about what I mean about Bitcoin and how this went off. So you have this big high in here. then it goes down. So it's obvious to see that, and let me just use the weekly time frame because that would be a bit easier. The market bottomed here in late 2015. So 2016, clearly, but into 2016, it's a bull market. But it's a bull market within a retracement. A retracement is from a key high to a key low. And within its entire run of the retracement, with the exception of the odd altcoins, the vast majority of them were in downtrends. And they stayed in downtrends. And that's priced in Bitcoin. So priced in the dollar, they might be hanging in there or maybe profiting. But here when it was 1,500 and even before, it was the start of March when this thing was getting going. Roughly around in here. So let me just put a line there. As it was consolidating with this previous high. And then from this point on, all the way up to in here, like altcoins were kicking Bitcoin's ass, and Bitcoin kicked ass, going from 1,000 up to like 3,000, 3x moving it. So other altcoins against the dollar were doing 8, 10, 20, 30x coins on that same timestamp. So if it's going to work out the similar sort of way, and that's, I mean, we'll see. I mean, whatever on that, but we're in the same thing. Retracement from this high to this low. We hit this low in here. We kind of say, are we in a bull market? We had one run. It's been going sideways, trying to get out of this sideways consolidation. That it might take a break above this level of like 15, 16,000, getting near the 20,000 highs before the altcoins, with Bitcoin going up, would go up in greater ascent. So Bitcoin going from, say, 15,000 to 75,000 would be a 5x move. And in that situation, you might see all these other coins doing 10, 40, 60, 100, whatever, much larger moves. Thus, their price against Bitcoin would be going up in a bull market in turn. We'll see if that happens, but that's just how it was back in here, because it was from basically this point in here to roughly around here when the altcoins were having their run. And from this January 29th-ish date, that's when altcoins have primarily been in a bear market. And of course, over this last little bit, there have been a lot of coins trying to work its way to get out of the bear market. LITECOIN not one, because it's below 5. And I don't have the right charts. Didn't plan on showing this, and I want to show the Poloniex, I guess, or Bittrex one as well, just because I want to see the previous lows of 0.03 change. So here's Poloniex here. And there's the previous lows. So as we can see, the lows are February 27th. Its top in here was February of 2018, but in that same area. And now it is here coming back down to those lows. And well, I mean, this in here, you just see how, like, oh my goodness, this is just going so bad. You can give up on it, and then, oh, all of a sudden it's back in play. Will that, oops, all of a sudden back in play happen again? Well, if Bitcoin does what it's doing in this, well, very easily could. And there was just one more thing that I did want to talk about before this video too, and that is the trend line. And I want to think I just wanted the 3-day for this. Yeah, it's broken. I mean, I got pretty good vision to know that if I were to draw a line like this that connects in here, I mean, that's a terrible line, but connecting as much of this as I can with this high and this current move tells me that the market is attempting a break of the only downtrend line that it would have left. Is we still got vertical resistance levels in here, but it's getting to the stage. Actually, no, that's not the one that I was looking at. So back to the weekly chart. Yep. Yeah, that's still, yeah, it's breaking it. Easy. And I gotta go like this. I mean, I guess you can say it's in the air. I'm just talking like this whole symmetricalness, because that's really what we're facing in here. As the price action, obviously in a tremendous bull market run from this low, huge gain, obvious high, low, high, and breaking these key levels, I mean, yeah, breaking this, we could be testing down here. It might not do it. It doesn't look like that it's going to. I don't think it will. Breaking this resistance, which I do think it will. I mean, the potential in this area for oh my OMG kind of movements, especially on the break north of 20K. You can go from 20 to 36 to 58 like it's no tomorrow. Sort of like the 1 to 3,000, which essentially went to 20 after that in fast timing. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.